All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining this class. I am going to go over a few things. But the first thing I want to go over is the principles of design. And the reason why I want to go over them for everyone that's here is because it doesn't matter the tool that you have. If you do not have the design sense, it will not matter. So you can give a designer Canva and give a non-designer Photoshop, and they both know how to proficiently use it so well. They would not have the same results. So knowing how to use the tool is different from having the design skill. Okay, Glory, this is your first time. How can you turn on your audio? You can't hear anything. How can I help her? Oh, she can't even hear. I think she just needs to turn on her. Please, can someone reply her on the chat section? Thank you. So basically, the most important thing is having a good design sense. Okay, and I'm going to go over that. You might have heard if a thing or two about the principles of design while you were in secondary school and you didn't pay attention to it, and now you actually need it. So I'm going to go over it in a very simple way, and I really hope that it will make sense. Now, the point of having a class like this is such that you can interject at any point. Okay, so if there's something that I said that you don't understand, if there's something that I said that is not clear to you, you can actually say, please, can you go over that again? I don't understand it. Okay, please feel very free to interject and say, I don't understand that. Okay, and I'll go over it. And if there's something that I need to clarify on, let me know so that I can clarify again. All right, so thank you guys, welcome. So let's dive right into this. Wow, let's dive right into it. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now, and once I share my screen, you will see what Canva looks like, and we will be good to go. Okay, all right, so this is what Canva looks like. If you have never used it before, this is what it looks like. Obviously, for some of you, this is nothing new, but I'll just assume and start with the assumption that many of us have never used it. Okay, so when you open Canva, this is the first thing you see. Now, this is not necessarily just for Canva. What I'm going to teach you today would apply whether you're using Canva or any other software. Okay, so number one, Canva is very what's the word, intuitive software. Intuitive in the sense that it gives you, as in, if you make mistakes, or if you come up with a bad design, it's because you overdid something, right? And that's why Canva is really good. It helps a lot of non-designers. So somebody's mic is on, please. Okay, so when you come on Canva, this is what you see. You see this whole list on your left, the tab on top, and all of these things, right? So depending on what you want to do, when you log on, there's a tab here for all your designs, for recent designs, all the things that have been shared with you, and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to open up with an Instagram design. I feel like that's one of the most popular things that a lot of people do. So if you want to create a design, you come up here to create a design, right? It's going to show different things. If you want to create a logo, a story, card, poster, but here we're designing an Instagram post. So I'm going to click Instagram posts. Okay, now when you open up, it's going to show you directly templates. I need to mute someone. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yes, it was a mistake.
I'm coming.
Yes, I saw it. I didn't even know that.
Who's speaking? I'm trying to. I can't even find the person.
One that was
Whoever is speaking, please mute yourself. There's a lot of noise. Yeah, I'm trying to find her.
I think you can actually mute everybody.
Okay, how do I even do that? Because I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, I'm coming. Let me stop sharing my screen.
For you to do that.
I could not even. Just like that.
Mute everyone.
Um, I'll go to I was praying, but I wasn't following the
How can I find it? Where can I find mute everyone? But then how will you ask questions? So that's my challenge. I'm
The
so
thing is
sorry,
that
guys.
when it's time for a few question and answers, you can just, since we can still hear you, why you mute
Okay.
us? And let
Okay,
us hear
cool.
us talk.
All right, I'll do that. I actually can't find the thing that makes me mute everyone.
okay.
Maybe go to the participants.
Participants. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen so I can open up Canva. Okay, mute all. Yeah, done. All right, I muted everyone. Nice. So we can continue. I'm so sorry for that delay, guys. So this is what Canva looks like when you open up any type of design board. If it's Instagram, it's going to open a square. If it's Insta story, you're going to see the long thing. Okay. So now what you have here is templates, right? When you click on templates, you're going to have different things. So let me show you something just to give you a good idea of what you can do and how very differently your designs can look. Okay. So if you follow design with DR, yeah, you will see what I posted today for cohort 4 starts today, right? And if you notice, it looks very much like what we have on the screen. Amarachi is drawing on my board. Wow. Okay, so now look at this, right? So this is the template I used for this design, right? You can see the similarities, but I obviously changed the background image. And the second thing I did was I added an element. So I'm going to go over it now so that you can see if you haven't done it, if you've never used Canva before. So let me show you exactly what I did. Okay. Like I said earlier, Canva is very intuitive in the sense that the templates are a good guide to make sure that you don't do anything that doesn't make sense. Okay. So cohort, simple for those of you who have never used it. Once you click on templates, once you click on this, it's going to open up on your page, right? Once it opens up on your page, there's a place here called uploads, right? What you can do here is you can upload images. Okay, so this is where you can upload images and stuff. Now there's another way to upload images without actually having to upload images. So I'm going to show you where I got those images from. Let me just find yellow background, for example, right? And of course you can select the image from Canva. Okay, but personally I like to get images outside Canva just because I don't know why. I want it to look a little different. So this image was from somewhere on the internet, rawpixels.com. So I'll share a link with many of those resources online. I'm trying to find the exact image I used, but let me search yellow. Hopefully I'll find it. If I don't find it, I'll just use something. Oh, nice. Yeah, so this is the exact image I used. I didn't have to download it. I simply just copied image. I came into my canvas and I pasted it. Control C, Control V, simply. Immediately I paste it, it's going to upload. So I didn't have to upload it, okay? Now, you can upload it if you want a high resolution image or any other thing, right? So feel free to upload. Now, what's the next thing I did? I resized this to the square, okay? Now, resizing it is pretty easy. You just need to drag the button, whatever that thing is called. You just need to drag it up and down, right? Now, for example, if it's like this, a shortcut, if you want to drag both up and down together, you press Alt or Option, and it's going to open, it's going to drag on both ends. Okay, so but that's just like a shortcut thing. If you, yeah, you can use that when you're free. So now you can see that what I imported is directly on top of the images. So if I want to take it to the back, what I need to do is send it backwards. So if I do send backwards, it's going to go back one layer. If I do send backwards again, it's going to go another layer. But if I want to take it to the back, I'll just right click and do send to back. So it's going to go to the last layer. Okay, and then I'm going to delete this because I don't need it. Okay, and then what else did I do? I put white rectangles here. So very simple. Now, in photos, this is where you'll find pictures that Canva gives you access to. All right, so all you need to do is search. So let me search. I mean, I might find this image here. So if you search yellow, for example, you find images here. So instead of actually going online to search, you can just click. It's going to upload. It's going to come up in your document, and you do what you want to do. Right, really simple. You can search for anything. Money. If you search money, you'll find money. All right. I wish you can just print out the money. Love. You can find love. Well, I really hope. Okay. Anyways, you can find love. You can find anything. Right. So elements. Now this is where you'll find stuff like shapes, icons, lines, curves, all manner of interesting things. All right. What I did was I used a rectangular shape. I just clicked, and obviously I'm pressing Alt or Option on the Mac, and I extended it out, right? And then I made it slim. So I dragged it up. I tried to make sure that it's somewhere in the middle where you can see the space between up and down is the same. And then I changed the color to white. And then it feels like I did 3 of these things, right? So that's exactly what I did. Then duplicate, bring it down. We have the exact same thing. And then I deleted this because I don't need it. And then I change this. Simple. When you have a template, all you need to do is double click and you can edit it. So type cohort. What did I even write? Cohort 4 starts today. Okay. So cohort 4 starts today. As simple as ABC, right? And I'm done. Then I added design with DR here, right? How do I do that? So come to text. When you come to text, you see many different things. Now, if you see this place, I'm going to make reference to it later, right? Remind me, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so add a little bit of body text. So I'm just going to drag it. This button is for dragging. When you have tiny things like this and you don't want to make them bigger, just to adjust them. So you can click here to increase the size. So now it's 50, now it's 100, right? It's different from zooming your screen in and out. Can you see the difference? Because it's going to zoom your whole screen. But if you just want to zoom the artboard, okay? So I'm just going to do art design with DR, okay? And then I'm going to increase it. You can increase it by dragging this, or you can increase it by increasing the dimension up here, yeah? So pretty simple. And there we go. The design is complete. What do you do next? You download. Click on download. You can download as a PNG, as a PDF, right? Now, PNG is usually very high quality for internet and stuff. The files are larger. JPEG files are smaller, but they're not as high quality as PNGs, right? And PNGs have the capacity to have backgrounds, but I think you need the premium version to download something without a background. PDF is good for print. PDF print is obviously a higher quality PDF that's good for print. SVGs are usually like you use them on websites, you can use them on other like app development type of things. Yeah. MP4 is video. If you add an animation, you can download your file as a video. GIF is GIF. You know what GIF is? It's kind of like a video but short and no sound. Okay. So I'm just going to download. Once I download, it's downloading. Obviously, I'll change the name of the file if I really need to. If not, I'll just leave it. Okay. And we have the design done, right? I just did that to show you all the features that you have on Canva. Another thing that you see that's interesting here is there are some font combinations that are here that you can use, right? So all you need to do is just click. It's going to appear in your artboard. What's happening? Yeah. So all you need to do is edit it. Game. Oh, I did it twice. So, wow. Okay, I did it 3 times. Interesting. What's happening? I'm so sorry. Okay, so click once, it's going to appear. Then type game over, right? And you have your badass design already. Really simple. Yeah. So let me Another thing that you also find on Canva that's very interesting, I think this might be for the pro feature, but it exists, is styles. I don't know if it's, I think it's probably on the free as well. So with styles, you can change stuff without actually having to manually change them, just if you're feeling interesting. So I just clicked on this now. It's going to change my font, it's going to change the color of the design with this color scheme. Okay, so let's just wait for it to do the magic. Yeah, so this is a very different design, right? Obviously not as cool as the last one, but it's just showing you that there are many things that you can do, different options to different designs. All right, so I've clicked on another one. I should expect, yeah. So sometimes it's not very smart because you're like, oh my god, why would you do this? But yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so music, you can import, you can add music to your stuff, and it's going to download as a video with sound. Okay, really simple. Just click on it and the video is going to appear, and then you can determine the duration from here, how long or how short you want it to be. Okay, and then videos, same thing. You can import a video, and literally almost like Premiere Pro, but obviously not that advanced. Okay, now background, you can change the background of your design by coming to background. There are two ways. If you want to use an image in your background, simply import an image, put it under, and you have a background. Or you can come here, click on this, it's going to change the background, and there you have it. Okay, really simple. Folders, it's not necessary for now. All right, so I'm going to go. I hope if you have never used Canva, let me know if there's anything I did that is not very clear. Okay, I can see some things in chat. What's happening? It feels like there's been a long conversation here. Okay, the web version. I'm looking through the comments so I can find if there's any question I need to. Is there a way to undo or redo? Yeah, Control Z, Control. I don't know if you can redo, but I know you can undo. Yeah, I know you can undo, but I don't know if you can redo.
Control Z.
Control Z didn't work. I just tried it. Control Alt Z. No, Control Z doesn't work. Okay, Control Shift. Control Shift Z works for undo. So yeah, you can do that. Control Shift Z, you can do that. Yeah, you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say that at the
Okay.
top left, you
Yeah.
could there's a piece that has that you can
Oh yeah,
redo
that's
with.
true. I hardly ever use it. This thing, yeah.
Okay.
Undo.
I
Yeah.
always use that. That's what I remembered.
I just
Thank you.
realized I've never used it before. But yeah, that's it. Undo. All right. So I'm trying to check to be sure there's any question. What about text effects? Oh yeah, there are text effects. Let me show you. So if you download your, if you have text here, so let me assume that we've come here, and let me delete this, right? Oh, Canva really messed with this, my nice design. Let me undo everything, right? So if you want to add text effects, simply come to effects. There's effects here. You can add a shadow, you can lift, you can create a holo, you can increase the thickness, reduce the thickness, you can make it a neon shape, you can increase the intensity, reduce the intensity. Yeah, just play around there. You can find all manner of different things to use. I don't do a lot of that, but yeah, feel free to do that. So that's how that works. I've done text effects. Is it possible to use Canva for YouTube videos? I don't know if it's possible to use Canva for YouTube videos because of the length, but you can definitely use them for short videos. Both arrows. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't get the step after uploading the picture. After uploading the picture, what do you do? After uploading the picture, you just click on it, right? So see here, imagine I want to upload an image. I'll come to uploads, right? Upload media. If I'm uploading it from my laptop, I'm just going to click. You can upload from Facebook, you can upload from a Google Drive, from Instagram, from Dropbox, anywhere you want to. Imagine I'm uploading from my device. I'm just going to click download image, right? I'm importing the image I used for the last design. Okay. Now it's uploading, right? Once it's done uploading, all I need to do is click. and it's going to open. Yes, there'll be a recording. I'll upload it on YouTube. So if you missed anything, you can go right, or if you missed the class, or if you intend to stop the rest, you're going to watch it. All right. So, is this Zainab Balogun, the popular Zainab Balogun? Let me know if I've blown or not.
It's not, I get that a lot. Guys.
All right. What font style did you use for the cohort 4? The font style, okay, so I'm going to go over fonts on Wednesdays. I'll teach you different styles, but the font name is Anton, right? I'll teach you about the different styles, serif fonts, script fonts, and all of that, how to use them, when to use them, and stuff like that. But let me go over the principles of design really quickly. How can you zoom a picture in? Oh, okay, let me show you how. Now, imagine that I import this image, for example, right? Imagine that this is a picture and I want it to be in this square. No, let me use this. Okay, no, let me use this, right? Imagine I import this picture and I want to zoom into this bike guy, right? What I need to do is, I hope this thing is not distracted. What I need to do is double click, right? Now you're going to see something open here and you just drag it. Okay, so that's how it is. You can do this and then you've zoomed into the image. All right, if you mean how to zoom into your documents, then this is what you need to do. 25. If you do 50, it's going to zoom in a little more. All right, so any other questions before I go straight into the principles of design?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
When you download the designs after making them, does it go straight to your phone or PC folder, or you have to, or it saves in the designs on Canva?
Well, I don't know. On my laptop, when I download, it downloads straight into my download folder. On my phone, when I download, it downloads to my images if I allow access. So sometimes you can also download to, you can choose where you want it to download to on your phone if you're using your phone.
Okay.
So let me see. If I click download and I click download, yeah, it just downloads. So it's going to show you this button here that it's downloading, and then you're just going to find it in your download folders. All right, let me see.
Okay.
Is it better to use your, okay, can you change the picture background on Canva? Yes, you can change the picture background on Canva. Wait, do you mean the picture background of a picture? If you mean that, yes. How you do that is, so for example, if I downloaded this image, for example, I'm trying to find a good image, right? Let's say I downloaded this image of a cup, of the cup and the drink, right? And I copy it and I want to change the background. There are two ways. I don't know if it's a premium feature, but on Canva, there's something called under effects. So you can see effects is not showing because the image hasn't uploaded. So once it's done uploading, effects is going to show. So yeah, now we can show, right? So there's something here where you can add effects to your design. So there's background remover. Background remover is going to remove the background. If it's a premium feature, you cannot do this on your Canva. You can do this on remove.bg. It's a website online, remove.bg. You can remove the background of your image. When you import it back into Canva, you can change the background on that way that image is. Okay. I hope I answered that question. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let's move on to the principles of design. Yeah, there are many alternatives that you can have. Okay, so I'm going to go over to principles of design before I take questions again. Discard changes. Okay, so I made my presentation on Canva. So I'm going to go to all my designs to find my presentation on the principles of design. I'm also going to practicalizing them, right? And I'll show you how I learn, right? So that you would have a good understanding of what to do when there's something you want to do that you can't do, okay? when I'm designing personally, I do a lot of Googling, right? So I'm going to do a lot of Googling while I'm working on this presentation. So you know that, like, that's exactly how I do it. So this is the template I used. Sonny's Gourmet Spread and Jams. That's the theme I used. All right. So this is my presentation. Basic principles of design. All right. So let me stop sharing my screen just so these arrows can leave. All right, so we're back up. Nice. So basic principles of design, it's all crap. They wrote to me. That's my name. Right. So the first thing good design does is communicate clearly. I came up with it in my mind. I Googled it. I didn't see it online, so I put my name on it. If you find it somewhere, I'm not plagiarizing. Right. So the first thing good design does is communicate clearly. And the reason why I said this is because, especially with visual communication, the aim of what you're designing is to communicate an idea, right? I mean, if it's art, you're trying to communicate maybe an emotion or a concept or whatever it is. But with visual, like design, graphic design, you're trying to communicate information as well. So there's a fine balance between having information and embellishing that information in such a way that people feel that information in the way that you want them to feel it. For example, if I want to say get out in a nice way, there's a type of font I'll use, there are types of colors I'll use, there are types of patterns I'll use on it. If I want to say get out in a very angry way, there are kinds of colors I'll use, there are kinds of fonts I'll use, you know. So those things matter. But imagine I want to say get out and I use a font that you cannot even read. It completely defeats the purpose of my design, right? Because you will not even see the get out. So no matter all the effigy that I put, it will give you an emotional feel, but the information will not be passed across. Okay, so that's why I said the first thing good design does is communicate clearly. Make sure that whatever you're designing, you can properly communicate, that somebody is seeing it and they can read what you're saying. Okay. All right. So that's it basically.
David, can I interject you for a bit, please?
All right.
Could you speak about fonts as well? I mean, the font you're using, like the one I'm currently seeing, is so beautiful. Can you talk about that as well?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll talk about fonts on Wednesday. I'll talk about fonts and colors. It's a little yeah, it's a little deep. So I'll go over that on Wednesday. But
Okay.
yeah. So let me not digress. So I'll go over that on Wednesday. All right. Next, okay, about me, yeah, a few things about my name is Ivirotimi, husband of Boro. My wife's name is Adeboro. Oh my God, she's in the kitchen again. I mean, it's not typical. It sounds so stereotypical, but I'm probably usually more in the kitchen, but it just happened like that today because I'm in this class. So I'm pastor of Celebration Church in Christ for Christ with Joy. I'm a graphic designer at One Campaign. You can see all of that on LinkedIn. All right. So contrast. Now, when I said CRAP, I meant CRAP. Contrast is the C in CRAP. All right. Now, unique elements in design should stand apart from one another. One way to do that is to use contrast. Good design needs contrast. Okay, so you can achieve good contrast by using color, tone, size, and more. And I'm going to show you in practical terms how that works. Okay, so let me come on Canva. Sorry, let me check the chat section if there's anything I need to do. Nothing. Oh, mom, please cook for us. But they say you should cook for them. Oh. You should cook for them. Mm. Do you want to say hi? Can you guys see her? I don't know. I don't know if they can see me.
Yes, we can see her.
Okay. All right. Let me proceed.
Say hi to her for us.
I will. Okay. So yeah, I was going to practicalize it. Oh, I'm so distracted. All right. So new design, right? I'm going to continue with the design I was working with, or I'm going to start with a brand new design entirely. The reason why I'm doing this is so that if you have never used Canva, you start to get familiar with how it works, right? It's pretty really easy and basic. Okay. Now I'm explaining contrast. I'm going to show you two pictures and you tell me which looks nicer. Okay. Let's assume that I'm using this. You know what? Let me change the. Let me change the. what do they call this thing? Templates. All right. All right. I'm going to use this. I mean, we make a lot of quotes, so it makes sense, right? Okay. So let's assume that I change this to a nice design. And the title of this design is, say, Jesus Loves You. Yeah. I'm a pastor, so I don't know what else to write. Jesus loves you. Yeah. Now, contrast is the text is very clear on the background. Right now, let me show you how contrast works. Contrast is such. Let me tell you a keyword to explain contrast. Now, another thing I want to say before we continue is don't get hung up on the names of these principles. Let me also explain before I continue. There are two things that you want to remember. There are elements of design and there are principles of design. Let me explain it really quickly. Elements of design are things like line, color, shape, texture, all those things. Let me explain it with cooking. Elements of cooking are salt, pepper, maggi, yam, flour, beans, gari, sugar, all those things, right? Principles of cooking are recipes. How many cubes of maggi should you add? How many cubes of salt should you add? How long should you stay in the maggi for, in the pot for? How long, all those kind of things, right? So the principles guide how you use the elements. The elements are the tools. Okay, if you want to think about it in agricultural terms, the tools are hoe, cutlass. The principles are like irrigation, right? Irrigation is not a thing, but irrigation is an explanation of how something should be done. Okay, so that's the difference between principles and elements. So principles are like guiding rules that help you come up with really amazing designs. Okay, so contrast works like this. Now, contrast is in different ways. Okay, there's good contrast between Jesus loves you as a text on this background. Let me show you what bad contrast looks like. If I change the color of this thing to let me see, something like this, right? Yeah. Now, this is bad contrast. Why? Because Jesus loves you is not clear enough on the background. The difference in color is not a lot. Okay. Here, you can see the difference in color. The background is dark, the text is bright. Okay. So it means that if we were going to do the same thing in a different way, we would have a bright background and a dark text. Why? Because we want the text to show. So if you have a red design, you will not use a pink text on it. I mean, another thing is, remember, they say principles and rules are meant to be broken. Okay, so sometimes when you become a pro, you can do stuff like that and it will come out nice. Peace, Ajala, you want to ask a question? You raise up your hand.
David, could you please reduce your background music? It's
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm
much.
Yes,
trying to
I was
realize. I
asking
just
if you
realized.
could reduce. Yes.
I'm so sorry about that.
Thanks.
I didn't know it was loud. Okay, so was that what you were raising your hand for?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, David.
thanks.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
okay. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't know it was loud. This thing's not working. Okay, cool. Right. It's okay now, yeah? Is it okay?
It's like it's even more louder.
It's still loud.
Wow, what's happening? Okay, I don't even need it. Anyways, it's clear now, yeah? No, I don't think so. All right, let me proceed. I'm so sorry for distraction. Right. Now, contrast is basically difference. All right. Now, if you want to see these three texts, Jesus loves you, right? There's another principle, but I'm not outlining it here because I don't want to bombard you. There's something called emphasis, right? And you can really create emphasis with contrast in a sense. So imagine that I wanted loves to be the biggest thing here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I can either increase the size and make loves much bigger than Jesus and you. Yeah, so you have something like this. And I mean, you can see this design, Jesus loves you, but loves is emphasized. Okay, now there's another way I can make emphasis happen, or I can create contrast, and I can use color. So if I have all the texts in white and I keep loves in let me say, or if I have all the text in gray, let me say this gray, and I keep loves in white, right? I've created contrast with color. They're the same size, the same font, same location, centrally aligned, but the color is different. Okay, so that's what it means when it says you can use color to create contrast, you can use size to create contrast, you can use tone to create contrast. So they are the same color actually, white and gray, they're in the same color scheme, but the tone is darker in gray, is brighter in loves. Do you understand? I hope I'm not making anyone confused. Do you understand this so far?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I just feel
Yeah.
like Zainab Balogo, please continue talking. Anytime I see your name, I just feel like there's a celeb on this group chat. All right, so all right, so so that's contrast on a basic level. Okay, let me continue. So another way you can create contrast with direction. So imagine that, let me show you another design, or let me create something else here now. Imagine that I have 10 elements on a design. Okay, let's say so this is direction, yeah. Let me make it bolder. Okay, now imagine that we had this. Okay, now this is an element that we want to have in this design. All right, I want to reduce it so it's not too big. Okay, now imagine that we duplicated this. Yeah, emphasis is difference in the sense that you want something to be striking, you want something to be very visible among many things. Okay, so how you do that is by creating a difference in either the color, those kind of things. So let's say I'm duplicating this again, right? And we have this here. I'm duplicating this again, and we have this here. I'm duplicating this again, and we have this here, right? So we have all these arrows. Imagine that, okay, so something's wrong with the alignment, but anyways, I'm going to go over with the alignment later. Okay, so imagine that we centralize it, yeah? And this is kind of like, assume that this is a design, right? They are all the same color, same size, everything the same, right? If I change the orientation of this to going up, right? Even though I didn't change the color, I didn't change anything, this one that is going up is going to catch your attention because it's different from everyone. Yeah, so that's what contrast is, right? I could have done it such that everything is black and I'll change the color of this to gray, right? Even though it's not, sometimes it's not always about whether it's dark or it's bright, it's about this is different. Okay, so everything is black, but this is gray. Your eyes immediately go to this. Yeah, so that's what contrast does. All right. I think that's it basically. Let me proceed because we don't have a lot of time. All right. So, and you can create the same thing with shape. Now, let me use shape to create this. Imagine that they were all arrows and arrows and arrows, and then I brought a circle here. Even if I make it the exact same color, this circle is going to be the center of your focus because it is different from every other one. That's basically how contrast works. Yeah. And tomorrow we're going to do more practicals on how to apply them in our designs. Okay, sorry, on Wednesday. All right. So let me continue with my presentation. Follow on Shoshola, yeah? Do you have a question or something? Or was it a mistake?
So, please, can you explain the center of focus? Can you explain it more? Yes.
Center of focus.
No questions.
Okay. So, okay. When I said I was explaining that you can use contrast to create emphasis. If you want everyone to look in a particular way, you can make that element different from every other element, and everyone will look there. So that's basically what I was explaining.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically what I was explaining. All right.
Okay, thank you.
And remember when I said earlier, you as a designer, you're in control of what the audience sees. So you can make them see what you want them to see, and you can make them ignore what you want them to ignore. Okay. We still have a lot to cover. So let me let me be quick, right? So look at this. You can see many umbrellas, but the colorful umbrella strikes you because it's colorful and the rest is black. This is probably the same size, but it's just a different color. Even if it was smaller, the fact that the color is there is going to make a difference. Okay. All right. So you can see the same thing here. The red boat is very, very obvious. That's what contrast does. All right. So repetition, I've done a little repetition with what I did by repeating all those elements. All right. So repetition breeds cohesiveness in the design. Once a pattern has been established, for example, the dotted border on this specific typographic styling, you repeat that pattern to create or establish consistency. All right. So basically, in short, establish style for each element in the design by using it in similar elements. So what that means is, now, if you in the context of maybe branding, for example, typically use a lot of graphic design for branding. I'll explain that with some images below, right? Look at this. Repetition is basically repeating elements. That's what repetition does. And many times you can only create contrasts by repetition. Are they coming along? Are they merging already in your mind? How the principles are not necessarily mutually exclusive. So you're not saying, okay, in this design, I'm only going to use contrast. You can't create contrast without repetition in many cases. Okay, so they are not mutually exclusive. It's just different principles to point your eyes to different things that you need to pay attention to ensure that your design comes out really nice. Okay, so how can you apply this in actual fact? Using the same hierarchy and fonts throughout, use the same elements throughout the design, use the same colors, use the same logos or images, and in branding. Okay, I'm going to show you typically. So this is like in a pattern, for example, when you duplicate an element, it creates a pattern. Simply, if you duplicate lines, it becomes a pattern. If you duplicate circles, it becomes a pattern. That's basically the principle of repetition, right? Repetition is memorable. Maintaining visual structure throughout the design promotes focus and consistency. So when people see a particular form of repetition in one place, if they see that same form of repetition in another place, their minds immediately connect the dots. Okay, so if you can see this now, anywhere you see a red circle, for example, your mind will probably first go to Coca-Cola. Obviously, that's branding, not necessarily repetition, but it's just explaining that principle of recognition. Okay, so look at this brand, for example, with their packaging. Yeah, you can see how they repeated the elements in the exact same locations. The only difference is the colors, right? So if you see another brand that replicates this form of arrangement, you would almost think they are copying them. Yeah, so that's what repetition does. You can see here, we have this green triangle and the magenta triangle, the green triangle and magenta triangle repeated, right? And it's creating a pattern. So that's simply what repetition does. Now let me show you. Look at this carefully. Right? I want to hear you. Did you read it the exact way they predicted you would?
No. So I read the bold one first, and then the one that followed. And then the last thing I read was then this.
Exactly, same thing I read here too.
Exactly. So this is a practical example of what I mean when I say that you can control what the people looking at your design can focus on, right? Now, how did they achieve this? It's a simple game of hierarchy. The biggest thing is what your eyes will see first of all, right? So first you read this is the biggest font. Your eyes will definitely go there first. And because we read left to right, it's left aligned, right? Next thing is what you have under, then you read this. It's the second largest, right? And because typically eyes go from up to down, when you go, your eyes go from up to down. So when you go from up to down, you realize you finished, then you go back up to see what was hanging here. But because your eyes are already here, you tend to want to go down and finish what's there before you go up. Okay, and it's kind of the exact same principles when people do like banners and flyers and stuff like that. They would have all the arrangements. The biggest thing would be like the topic or the title or the name of the party or the name of the event or whatever it is. Okay, that's how that works. Yeah, I said I was going to make reference to texts later on. So Canva has helped you with this thing. Look at this. Can you see a similarity between this and this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So Canva has intuitively helped you to create hierarchy in your design. So your heading is going to be the biggest, your subheading is going to be the second biggest, and then a little bit of body text will be the smallest. Okay. So that's why I said Canva is very intuitive. Yeah. So alignment is the next thing. Alignment is one of the biggest things I don't want you to miss out on. We're almost out of time, so I want to really wrap this up really quickly. Alignment is one of the things that you don't want to miss out on. Proper alignment in the design is making sure that every element is visually connected to another element. So what alignment does is allows cohesiveness in the design so that nothing feels out of place or disconnected, right? Let me show you in practice, all right? Look at this, right? You can see that this element feels out of place, okay? Now, if you are thinking about it very deeply, you realize that not aligned, right? We've created a contrast by altering the alignment. Because if you're looking at this, the first place your eyes will go to is not aligned. Because all these things are the same. All these things are the same. You can see the principle of repetition. Aligned, aligned, aligned is repeated constantly. And then not aligned is very different in a different alignment. And that's the first thing your eyes go to. Is that true or not?
Sure.
Yeah. So you can see how all the elements, all the principles actually work together because you can't do one without the other. Okay. So in practice, everything should have a visual connection with something else. Choose a hard line and stick with it throughout all your materials. Typically use left, right, or center alignment on a basic level. Okay. Let me move on to the next slide. Now look at this very carefully. This is very practical of what alignment looks like. If you see this first design, it looks very terrible. I don't want you or any one of you to do something like this after this class because of God, right? Now, you can see email is up on the left corner. Washington University is like, what's this space for, right? And then this one is just down here. It feels like everything is out of place. If you compare it to this, everything is aligned to your left and it feels like it's more orderly, it's more organized. Yeah, that's the point of hierarchy. Hierarchy organized, sorry, not hierarchy, wow. Alignment. Alignment organizes all your elements so that your eyes can visually be guided by that element. So sometimes it can be aligned, but it's just a straight path that your eyes are moving through. Yeah, that's the point of alignment. So if you see this is left aligned, center aligned, sorry, and then this is right aligned. Okay. So this is what alignment looks like. Good alignment is going to look very organized. Poor alignment is just going to look disorganized. And then there's something called mixed alignment. Mixed alignment means you're having more than one form of alignment, but it's still aligned, but it's mixed. If you're not an experienced designer, I'll advise you to stay clear from mixed alignment. Just stick to good alignment, right? By doing center, left, or right alignment. Okay. Look at this image, right? As in, these are not even lines or shapes, but you can see the arrangement, you can see the organization, you can see the alignment, right? Very, very well organized. So that's what alignment does to your designs. All right. Proximity is the last thing I want to do before we go, right? Proximity allows for visual unity in a design. So if two elements are related, they should be together. Okay. Let me show you what that looks like. In typical, okay, we're almost out of time. Let me be quick, right? Let me show you what that looks like. Look at these fruits, right? Proximity is like arranging things. Let all the apples be in one place. Let all the bananas be in one place. Let all the mangoes be in one. Don't scatter it. It's like some of these wardrobes, right? You're supposed to have your shirts in one place. You're supposed to have your boxers in another place. You're supposed to have your suits hung somewhere else. But you just enter the room, remove your shirt, and drop it anywhere, right? This is a moral lesson for some of you. Please go and apply some rules of proximity on your wardrobe. Okay. But on your design, this is what it looks like when everything is arranged properly, right? All the similar elements, with your clothes, the point of arranging your clothes that way is that when you're looking for anything, it's easy to find it. That's the exact same thing that happens with design. When you arrange things, it's easy for the viewer to see what he's looking for, to see what she's looking for. Okay. I'm going to show you in practice what that feels like. Look at this design, right? this just feels so disorganized. This exactly like some people's wardrobes. Everything is just scattered in everywhere, right? While this is like some of these wardrobes as well, because some of you are really organized. Yeah. So you can tell the difference when you are looking for smooth dances. You know that all the dances related to smooth are under smooth. All the dances related to rhythm are under rhythm. All the dances related to street are under street. Okay, that is what proximity does. All right, it groups related information together. Okay, look at this, and I'm going to touch on hierarchy a bit here to help you understand what it feels like. Now, I'll make reference to another design that we had seen earlier, right? Look at this design. You can see the hierarchy. When you look at this design, even though it's not aligned, your eyes will first go straight to Washington State University because it's the biggest thing, okay? So we can see that in this design, there is proper hierarchy. Hierarchy is not part of the things that I listed, but it's something to note. Hierarchy is like the order of arrangement. How big should this information be? How small should this one be, right? Should this be bigger than this? Should this be smaller than this? Okay, so that's what hierarchy is, right? Just touch on that. But looking at this, right, you can see here that the information are not grouped together. If you see a banner, for example, typically you see the biggest information up top, right? You know what? Let me even go online and show you something very, very interesting. So, I mean, okay, so our attention here, I'm in the media team. I'll show you some of the designs, right? Now look at this. And I'm using this because it's something that almost everybody will be able to relate to in terms of like, this is what design looks like, right? Now, this is a banner design, right? For a church service, very obviously. What's the biggest thing here? Desire commanded. It's the biggest thing you can see, okay? That's hierarchy, right? You can see the subheading here. Now, proximity is making sure that you put Sunday, 24th of January 2021, 9 a.m., Tafo Arena, everything, all of them are in the same place. Imagine that you had Sunday, 24th of January up here, then 9 a.m. up here, then Tafo Arena down here, then CCI Ibadan down here, right? It's not going to be good for quick assimilation of the information, because what happens is when you're looking at designs, when you're looking at anything at all, you're not trying to like study it. Your eyes are just looking through really quickly. So when your eyes look through quickly, you want to make sure that you have placed all the elements properly to ensure that when anybody's seeing it, they are seeing what you want them to see, and all the information is grouped in such a way that when they are looking for any information, they know where to find it. Yeah. So obviously, when I see Sunday, I know that time will be there, date will be there, location will be there, the when, the where, those kind of things. So I hope proximity is very clear up until this point.
Yeah, it is. Thank
Right.
you.
Does anyone have any questions so far? Let me check the chat
I have
section.
2 questions actually.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they're in line with this topic, but I will
Okay.
still
No
ask
problem.
you.
No
So the
problem.
first is that I noticed that when I design on my laptop and
Okay.
then I go to the app on my phone,
Okay.
I don't know why, but Canva has already altered the image for me. I don't know if it's just me, but like it has scattered the elements and then it feels like I have to redesign it from scratch. But then if I go back to my laptop, I find that it is as I left it. So my question is like, what is the reason for that? That's the first question.
To
And
be honest, I don't know.
second,
That I think. Let me answer that one first. I don't know the answer, to be honest. It might be a technical, you know, technical Canva thing, but I don't know the answer to that. But in my experience, when I design something on my laptop and I open it on my phone, it looks pretty much the same. So I don't know. I haven't experienced that before.
Hello, sorry, I can't find where to raise my hand. If not, I would. Okay. I wanted to say something about the question she asked.
Okay.
Actually,
Have you
so
experienced that
I
as well?
noticed I have, but then I realized that it was because eventually I realized it was because I wasn't waiting for it to load, or at least that was
Oh,
my experience.
Okay.
So maybe if she just waits for it for like a minute or so, depending on her internet. Like after I started waiting for the thing to load fully, I didn't
Everything
experience
arranged.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe
Okay.
she should
Okay.
try that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. I'll
Yeah,
take
you were going to ask another question.
Yeah, the second one, I realized that when I download images from my Canva and then I post it maybe on Instagram, it looks like the image quality drops, even though it was saved in a PNG format.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know. It
strange.
just feels to me like Canva images are not as sharp. Like if you compare it to an Adobe Spark, I
Hmm.
mean, but that's what I've noticed. And
Maybe what you can do is you can increase the resolution. So, for example, when you're downloading a file, right? Imagine that I'm downloading this page as a PNG, right? So you can see this size, right? This is 1920 by 1080 px, right?
Mhm.
If I increase it, the resolution is going to be much higher.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can try that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question before I proceed? Somebody was raising up her hand. I think you can ask your
Okay,
question.
so concerning what she said, excuse me,
Okay.
concerning what she said, I also think that sometimes it depends on the font style that you use. It will be just if you put on your Instagram to be big. And then another way to also save it to bring it out to be more clearer. I save my own through Gmail. If I use Gmail, it comes out clearer too.
Okay, you send it through Gmail. Yeah, I think that works as well. Okay. Next question. Thank you so much.
Hi, hello, David.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, thanks for the training. We really enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
I don't know if
Shut up.
you have talked about the. Hello.
I can hear you. You don't know if I've talked about
Okay.
what?
The colors.
Yes, no. I'm going to
Picking
talk
the
about
right
colors
colors.
on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, so we still have a class on
Colors
Wednesday
and
and on Friday.
fonts.
Yeah, I'm going to discuss colors and fonts on Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're going
All
to have
right.
a
Thank you.
practical class. We're going to design something together. So let me even show you what we designed in the other class. If you saw it online, you probably won't even know that it was a Canva design. Oh yeah, somebody was asking how I designed the arrow. Let me do that really quickly. I'm so sorry. But so far, is there any other question while I'm trying to gather that together?
Yes, I've been
Okay.
raising my hand.
All right, please speak now.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I noticed that when you saved the image as PNG, there were two options:
Yeah,
either to save it as, I think, a regular one, or
yeah,
with a transparent background. What's the
yeah.
difference?
So the difference is, for example, if I created a logo and I want my logo to be such that the background is transparent. You know how logos work that way, where you don't want your logo to have a background, so that when you're using that logo on another image, it doesn't have a background. That's when you do that.
Okay.
Or if you sometimes, in the way it even works many times, there are some designs, like there's some kind of advanced designs that you want to do, that you need to download the image first as a transparent image, then upload them back into your design, add some effects to it to make your design. So that's what it's for. And some other
All right.
cases that I might not mention, that I might not be able to like think of off the top of my mind. Right. So let me show you the person that asked how I made the arrows. I just came here.
Hello. A quick question, please.
Okay.
How do you decide um your size? Probably you want to design for a logo. How do you decide the size? Like
Yeah,
the
so I don't
size
have to
of
decide
the.
the size on Canva because Canva just creates it automatically. So if I open logo, right? Logo design, there's a suggested size already. So once I click on it, it's going to open in the exact size I need it to be, 500 pixels by 500 pixels. So
What about in the
Canva
case?
has templates.
What about in the case if I'm designing probably a background for a website?
Okay.
So how do I decide the size of a website, particularly at that time?
Okay, you mean like maybe if you want to make a custom size?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see, you can
Like
create custom dimensions. So if you want to do 200 by 14 pixels and you can't find the template here, just come to create custom design, put your width 200, 300 by 450. Is that,
Okay.
did I answer your question?
Yeah, but probably when, okay, maybe I don't know the size of this the Canva dashboard you are on now. Maybe I don't know the size, and then I needed a background on that. How do I decide? How do I know? Okay, say this is the design, the custom um width and height that I'm going to use for it.
If it's a custom width and height, you need to know that for yourself. If it's not a custom width and height, it will most likely be a template that already exists. So for example, if it's for Instagram, there's a size for Instagram. If it's for Facebook, there's a size for Facebook. If it's for a Twitter header, there's a size for a Twitter header. Do you get?
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Did you come up paid?
Come again. Hello, I didn't hear you.
Using a paid version, right?
I didn't hear you.
So you're using a paid version.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right, so let me quickly show you how I did the arrow thing, and then I will move on to closing because it's 10 o'clock already and we're supposed to close by 10. So simple. Let me show you the arrow. Just come to elements and type arrow, right? In your elements, you'll see arrow. Click on arrow. When you click on it, you can edit it here. It's going to show up here. What's happening? It's supposed to show. Okay. So see. Okay, this is an image. So when you come here, when you click on this, right, you can change the end. You can increase the thickness, the weight. You can change the pattern. Okay, so that's how I did it.
Thank you.
All right, no, you're welcome. So yeah, I was going to show you guys what we did in last class for. So we did a logo design. We did a social media banner for the brand. And so that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Sorry, on Wednesday. Why do I keep saying tomorrow? Right? So we created a logo. The name of the logo was DR Logistics. Anyways, they were the ones that suggested it. I was not being too obsessed with myself. But
David.
Yeah, are you asking a question?
Yes.
Okay.
What would you advise the best format to download as? JPG or PNG?
Depending on what you want to use it for. What would I advise who to download for?
Oh yeah, what format do you advise is best to download as?
Well, PNG typically is just a larger file size, but PNG.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, this was the logo we designed, and then we designed some banners for the social media and some other things. So we'll go over that tomorrow, and on Wednesday we'll go over colors, text, colors, fonts, typography, you know, how to choose what type of color, how to choose what type of font, how do you know where to place what and stuff like that. So, but for today, I'm going to give you an assignment, right? And I want you to replicate this design. I'm going to send you a link on WhatsApp. So you're going to see the link. What you want to do, or what I need you to do, is to replicate this exactly, right? Replicate this exactly to the best of your ability, right? I'm going to share the link on WhatsApp, and that will be it. Let me find out if there's any question. We'll get access to the presentations after each session. I will email it. So if you have signed up to the email list, you will get it. Oh, tables have been shuttered. Wow, I didn't even hear all of this. All right. So I think that's it. Any other question before we close?
Yeah, I have one question.
Okay.
Is it possible to create a fresh design from start, or you have to?
Yes, I'll go over that in the next class. We're going to start afresh.
Okay.
yeah, you can definitely start afresh. How do you duplicate? How do you duplicate? There's a button up here that says duplicate. So if you click on this, for example, this is duplicate. If you want to duplicate this whole artwork, this is duplicate page. Okay. Any other question? How do you join the email list? Okay, I'll send it on. I'll send it on the WhatsApp group. Any other question before we close? I think we're done for the day. Come again.
What exactly is the assignment?
It's the assignment. The assignment is to duplicate this design. Now, what you're going to do is I'm going to send you the link to this design. So you're going to try to duplicate it, right? And when you are going to share your assignment with me, what you're going to do is you're going to click on share, okay? And you're going to come here, you share a link to edit, and then you copy the link. This is what I need. So you send me this link. You can send it to my email, dr@derotim.com. I'll send all the information in the group so that you can send in your assignments.
Sorry,
to me.
duplicate or recreate?
Replicate, sorry. Replicate or replicate. Just make this thing exactly the way it is. All right. All right. So last thing I wanted to say was it's towards the end of my presentation, but because of time, I'll go over that before we continue in the next class. And it's learn how to copy. Okay. Learn how to copy. I'll go over that in next class. So you're going to see how I design. So if I want to design a logo, what's the first thing I do? When I've done the first thing, what's the next thing I do? How do I go about it? What colors do I choose? You know, all those questions will be answered, and I'm going to do it practically. So you're going to see it happen, and you know that it's really pretty easy to do. Okay. So thank you guys.
You're going to share some resources, the links to get pictures.
Yes, I'll share them on the group, on the WhatsApp group. I'll leave the group open for say 10 minutes so that if you have any questions, you can ask them, and then I'll close it back so that you don't have any too much disturbances on your WhatsApp because of this group. All right. So are we good?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night. God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
David.
You're welcome. All right. Bye.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
Bye.
David.
Bye.
Thank you, David.
It's okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Some of us will be thanking you for a whole year.